Hello, welcome. It's Thursday. Time for another one of my price action analysis videos. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all well and you've had a smashing day. Now, just yesterday, this weekly candle on CME was looking rather lackluster. Now it's looking better. And significant is that it's got a really good chance of closing above the midpoint on the Bollinger Band, which is coming in around 63,000. You can see that momentum will continue to the upside as long as the MACD remains above, or price remains above 62,000, and the price is currently at 65.5 on CME. So with what, 1 day, 3 hours left to close that weekly candle, I think that's looking pretty good. The reason why it's significant, of course, is that if there is going to be volatility expansion on the weekly, which there isn't yet, then Bitcoin being in the top half of the Bollinger Band makes it more likely that expansion of volatility will occur to the upside, which is what everyone wants, man. That's what we're all looking for. So yeah, that's all boding well, I would say, so far, with 1 day and 3 hours to go for CME. A bit longer to go for Bybit, of course, because Bybit doesn't really close. It gets its weekly closure immediately before its weekly open. I'm just going to jump over to Bybit on the daily now. And you can see it's not so obvious actually on this daily, but you can see that support resistance pretty much dead straight line at 63 has held up quite nicely. And now the 20 SMA is turning up as well. The volatility isn't expanding yet on the daily. It's still contracting, as you can see there. But for a stronger trend, so currently this is an uptrend, right? For a stronger trend, when you get volatility cooling off, you want it to stay above the midpoint. So I'll give you an example here. This was a stronger trend to the downside. And even when volatility cooled off a bit by here, the price remained below the midpoint, right? So it continued that strong downtrend. Same over here with this uptrend. When volatility cooled off, as price went sideways, it didn't break down. And then the next move, because price remained in the top half of the Bollinger Band, as the Bollinger Bands expanded, as came volatility, the price move was to the upside. So the trend continued. So that's what I love about the Bollinger Band. It gives you everything in one. It gives you trend and volatility. So that's pretty awesome. The only thing it doesn't give you a visual on is volume. Volume is super important. But, you know, no one's perfect. I'm far from perfect. I like the way that they work together, the MACD and the Bollinger Band. I think they work quite well together. So yeah, you can see the daily MACD, the momentum on the daily will remain to the upside as long as Bitcoin closes today in 5 hours above 63,250, call it, which is about $2,000 away from that at the moment. Now, the interesting bit of price action is really on the lower time frames. So the 4 hour, you can see here, it's trying very hard to get some volatility expansion to the upside. So really that's happened in the last, since about 1 o'clock UK time. And there's still an hour left for this 4 hour candle, although that's looking a little bit weak. But I'm by no means a candle trader, and trading candles on their own, I just don't think it's a good idea. But this does look like there's going to be some follow through for volatility expansion to the upside. Momentum will remain to the upside on the 4 hour, and you can see it's picking up pace above 64,250, so it's about $1,000 away from there. And so, yeah, I think this all looks good. The significance, of course, of a bit of prolonged price action above 65,000 is that that will then, easier to see it on a daily, that will then have the etchings of a higher high. So we've already got a higher low, which you can see here. So if you take this wick low as a low and then say a high, then this is quite clearly then a higher low. But what Bitcoin hasn't had yet and was getting resistance against was having a daily higher high compared to this area. So, you know, you'd want to see it at least there, really, at least there. The higher the better, though. And then, yeah, maybe another pullback, and then another higher low, and then, then probably everyone will realize that the momentum is and the trend is to the upside, as opposed to this sequence. So really, I mean, I think you'd probably argue the first lower high was probably here. Then there was a lower low compared to this one, and then a lower high, and then a lower low. So it was only really, that sort of move down. But now it looks like with this higher low in place, and this being the local high, there's a good chance we might get higher high, hence changing this into more of this. Certainly not impulsive bull run moves yet, but it's still within the consolidation zone, or whatever you want to call it, but it's positive price action rather than negative. So yeah, there we are. Well, how long is that? 6 minutes. So just a few little areas for your consideration. I think there probably is a good support resistance around somewhere between, it's probably around 64.5. So I would expect Bitcoin to get some support there, certainly on the lower time frames. But you can see that it's pretty much all clear for more upside as long as Bitcoin's above, well, sort of call it 63.5, something like that. Yeah, something like 63.5, something like that, on the lower time frames. And I would say on the daily, yeah, probably daily closures. Well, I think on the daily, it could still pull back, although the lower time frames would suggest it might not do that right now. But the daily could still easily pull back to 60,000, and it wouldn't be a death sentence by any stretch of imagination. Maybe 62 is a bit safer. 62 is probably a bit safer for a daily pullback. But with the way the 4 hours shaping up, starting to think that maybe the next move might be to the upside rather than, a bigger pullback on this daily time frame. But who knows? No one. That's why you got to follow the price action. Just do as you're told. All right. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for joining me. If you have, please like and subscribe. Come back tomorrow for Fridays, and we'll see where that CME weekly closure is likely to come in around. Take care. Enjoy your day tomorrow. See you later. Bye-bye.